It is almost 7:46. Welcome back. The North Carolina Senate has passed a bill approving up to $10 million in annual payments to shrimpers impacted by a new trawling ban.
The ban, set to last through 2028, prohibits shrimp trawling within a half a mile of the coast. Supporters say it will help fish habitats, but critics argue it could devastate coastal livelihoods. Lawmakers from fishing communities pushing back on that with protests planned at the legislature.
Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes joining us now to talk about the controversial bill and the latest decision to those impacted. What's your take on that payout there?
I mean, well, I can say the payoff part, but even before the payoff, because you got the two bills, the 442 and 441, the action originally is something that had to occur. I mean, you really can't make either side happy. On the one side, you have the conservationists that are saying, look, this is something that we need to occur, or we won't have any of these type of lower level fish, species that are bottom dwellers being there. South Carolina already got rid of this decades ago, and so now we're saying we're behind the eight ball, let's go ahead and do it. But now you're talking about the payment. Well, that's in reaction, and typically as we are with this kind of ping pong legislative body that we have, you see something, you implement something, people are outraged, and then now you have an opportunity to come out and fix it, and that's what they're attempting to do. Just folks are saying that they may not believe that this payout is enough, and then some folks are too prideful. They're saying, I want to work for the money. I don't want you to give me a handout. The folks, one of the representatives said, the constituents in my district don't want to be paid to not work. They just want to go work. And that's part of the issue that I would say would be on the other side. But you got to have some type of balance here. If you're saying that we want to conserve this species, because if you keep doing it the way you are, specifically trawling by net, you are eliminating the population of shrimp, but not just shrimp. I mean, it's titled the Flounder and Red Snapper Season Shrimp Trawl Act. Why? Because they're also getting rid of and killing and diminishing the flounder and the other fish that are in that area. So it's a multifaceted approach, but this doesn't happen overnight. This is folks attempting to try to do this time and time again.
If some of these communities feel like they're being threatened by lawmakers, their livelihood, what rights do they have? I mean, can they protest? Can they, what can they do?
Vote. That's about the biggest thing
it.
that you can do.
Okay.
And so along that coast, you have the folks that represent people that are in those areas that are doing what they're supposed to do. This is how our legislative bodies work. You know, you elect people, they go to Raleigh, they speak on your behalf, and then either they can pass legislation or they can't. I mean, but this is something that was even within the Republican Party. There was fights because you have folks that are more inland like us that are like, hey, this really isn't going to affect us. But you got folks that are down on the coast like, this is literally my only business. So folks that help me get to office, people that help me, get to be in Raleigh to actually speak on behalf of them are saying they may not have a business by the time this is affected. So that's why you go back and you implement something like the 442 to say, all right, I can get some type of save. And that's how politics work. You get affected on one hand, and if you can actually negotiate, this is how it's supposed to work on both sides. It's good to see it working like this on one side of it.
Khalif, real quick, the payments to those shrimpers over there, does that kind of cover, the tails of lawmakers saying, okay, you can't say there's damages because we're paying you for any damages that you may incur by us changing the law?
Yes and no, and I like the tail, shrimp tail, right? You did that on
There we
purpose.
go.
But at the end of the day, I'm not sure. I mean, it's a $14+ million with the M dollar business that they bring to North Carolina. You're giving them $10 million. And so already, if you just look at the code numbers, that's $4 million short of what they could anticipate. But I don't know how they'll break down these payments. And then I don't even know how you would be able to say, this is how much I brought in the year before. I mean, those are the types of things. This is how much I anticipated. And even before, if I had 2 or 3 boats and maybe I upscaled to now 5 boats, do you supplement me for that? Figuring out how you make sure you distribute those finances properly and equally is probably going to be the larger problem.
All right, Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes, thank you so much for breaking that down for us.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.